Sorry about that. I thought I sent you the note, but then we looked again and we sent it again. But we got plenty of time for what we want to do. How's it going?
Okay. You have to open up my video though.
I wonder how I do that. It's like
Am I a panelist yet?
you should be a panelist. Oh, I just muted you again. Sorry, asked to unmute. So I just asked to unmute you. Looks like you should be able to.
Okay.
I was telling him how back in the day of all the center IMTs around the world, we were always learning new stuff, and there was even Kim Burnham used to say one of the teachers was never comfortable because she'd get back from teaching class somewhere in the world and get back to Connecticut, and there was like a whole new terminology, like all sorts of new stuff to learn. So because of us having the ability to work on our own primitive brain, the fight or flight brain, we got lots of opportunity to do that because it was never like that comfortable, you know.
Well, even though they can't see me, the process of integrated manual therapy is always seeking the truth of the body.
It is.
Always trying to find the essence of what one piece changes that person, that life around, one piece at a time. So, we started very physical, working on muscles and bones and structure. And then as we started to peel that away, we got into emotions and mental thoughts. And then we got into consciousness and hearing the essence of, what a soul can hear. And, through the 30 years of my practice, I've seen all those work. Prayer has worked for some people. Changing a mindset has worked for other people. And then just fixing one little piece of something on the body changes a lot of people at the same time. It still says can't start video because the host has stopped it. So.
Man, okay, well.
Can you make a co-host?
Yeah, let me make you a co-host. Let me make you a co-host. Let's see what happens if we do that.
Okay.
Okay. You changes stuff all the time. I'm not sure why. So I've already got them all set. You helped us sell out for this guy actually. So he was inside Jen, and you and I would meet, talk on the phone, and you would tell me here's where the bone bruise is, here's where the destruction of membrane is in this artery or in this intestine, or here's where some infection is, or here's where this is or that is, and then I would do the techniques. And so I was telling that story, and then I was telling a story of how when I learned public speaking from that Scientologist Klaus, one of the people in Burbank, and I was doing a demo as part of my training, and there was all these people and all these Scientologists were gathering around to like watch me do a demo of integrated manual therapy. And he was out there standing up, and he had a tight neck, and I was doing some stuff, and it was getting a little better. And finally he looked at me and said, "Why don't you just go to spirit?" And I was like, "What?" And then he just moved his neck just totally. And I was like, "What was that?" So it was before I knew some of these other energetic ways, but I thought this would be fun. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna be in that space, and I'll give you guys something really funny, cool at the end, kind of a secret of how to do this even faster at the end. So hang around for that, and it's not going to be that long because we only have time for a little bit. But yeah, I thought if you want to just start to just what I thought we do is have us check Jen, like I forward bend Jen, and then you can see more stuff, and I know you already see stuff. But play like that, and then you just rattle off everything that you see. We'll play in the field, and then we'll retest Jen. Okay. All right. For a second, baby. Okay. So standing right here. Okay. There's Jen. Okay. So in true Tom fashion, I'm gonna do my best while my teacher watches me. We're going to standing up, and I'm gonna not let her do her hips back. So first bend forward and just let your hips come back.
Okay. Excuse me, Baden.
And see how she puts her hips back? We don't want to do that. We're going to like.
And also notice that, Ralph, her head comes into extension.
Oh, watch
so
that.
We want to curl her down. Jen, tuck your chin and don't let it move from your chest.
So now we're going to start like this. So here we go, head, and then start to go
And
forward.
right there, her hips start to move backwards, right?
Yeah, and I can feel it. I can feel it raising up on her toes.
Yeah.
So in order for her spinal cord to continue to move, if she tilts her head back, she unties the back of her spinal cord. That's a
So you
cheat.
can go like this, and now tilt your head back, and now see how she
Now
goes.
she can continue to bend down, and that's a cheater way of not getting things done.
Cheater move.
Okay.
And the other cheater move is she starts to bend down and she lets her hips come back.
Yeah.
And she looks like great.
Okay, Jen, now face the camera for a second. And if you bring both arms straight up over your head. Perfect. And now come back down. And just do that one more time. So we're watching the flow of your arms. Really good. Are you having any right shoulder problems, arm problems, pins and needles in your arms?
Yep, my shoulder's been sore and a little bit weak when I go to like turn myself when I'm nursing him in bed. It'll have me flip from side to side. And the shoulder's definitely been bothering me a little bit.
If you pull your hair back a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So after you analyze posture like this for thousands and billions of people, it's easy to see that in your right shoulder and your right rib cage, about an inch or two down from your clavicle, there's a depression on the right side that's not on the left side. And it's a little go up one notch. Right in there, that's a little more sore than the other side.
Yeah.
So, and that is actually part of your shoulder, believe it or not. So some people just think the shoulder is where the arm attaches to the body. And when we study really a lot of anatomy, the shoulder is the part of the arm and the scapula. But then as we bring the arm over our head, it has to be able to bend the rib cage. So there seems to be a little bit of a dislocation or of her second or third rib, Ralph, on her. So even if she turns and faces the other direction and we bend her without touching anything, have her do that again. So face her that way.
Like blocker or don't blocker?
Yep, block her.
Blocker. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good, right about there. And okay, Jen, now come back up. And you're going to take your right hand and just place it so your thumb is on your clavicle or your collarbone, just like a big palm, and put a little pressure on it, and then try to tuck your chin and roll yourself down and see if that's any better. Okay, now take your hand off it, give me a little body shake, and try it again, and you'll be tight again.
Okay.
Right, so that's stiffer, right? To do? Yeah?
I feel like that.
So-
Yeah.
What's that, Jen?
Okay, cool. So
Yep.
Tom did that. Yeah, just anything. Yeah, keep on going, Tom. This is awesome.
No, so you can show any of the applications that, so in IMT terms, Ralph, she has a depression of her third rib, the costochondral cartilage is posterior, and there may be a bone bruise, there may be a DOM underneath it, or some infection motility in the lung. So all those three things I can't tell, but you can tell by touch and perception on that piece. And it may be technically, Jen, if you actually rub the top of your breast a little bit, is your right breast a little more sore than or lumpier than the left side?
I mean, definitely that spot you were talking about. I don't notice anything like lower down though,
Okay.
but up around that second
Yeah.
finger,
Yeah.
it's definitely.
So it could have been because you were doing something and you hit your shoulder, or it could have been a little bit of a mastitis from, teethings and things like that. It just feels like you have some immune deficiency motility in there and everything's just cramped down around that whole area.
Yeah.
So Tom, if we were on the phone kind of right now, if for your treatment plan for me, what would be your treatment plan as you've kind of checked in with Jen? You've seen her, you energetically kind of know her. You do know her. what would be the rest of the plan that you see that you say, okay, Ralph, here you go.
Intuitively, Ralph, the structural pieces that I'd like you to look at is we have to differentiate between a bone bruise of the third rib, disruption of membrane of the third rib area, and then some IDM of the third area or infection motility under there. Because it just feels when the ribs are a U-shaped process in the body, and the front of the rib could be just as make neck pain in the back, believe it or not, or also stop you from breathing, or also stop that whole shoulder movement. So with the hand skills, it's generally one of those three things, or a combination of a little bit of all those over time that, or even if she was a client at home and she had that piece, I would have her go in and just gently do a pressure and move it so that the tissues would start to get mobile, and we can bring more blood and more white blood cells to the area, so we can help with the IBM and the disruptions of membrane eventually. But you have more specific tools that you can fix the bone bruise, you can fix the whole patch. So the body really survives on those pieces.
Yeah, so the bone bruise, the disruption in any kind of membrane wall in that area, holes or lungs, and infection. And,
so what I say to a lot of people who get body work, if something's more persistent, so Jen has like back of the shoulders tight and her neck's tight, and the massage didn't really fix it. Those muscles from the back side of your body are trying to cuddle it and make it supportive. So they're wearing out and making noise. And that causes from the front of the body. Right?
Yeah, okay,
so
cool.
When a lot of people say, well, it hurts back there, why are you touching over here? It's usually the thing that doesn't move, and all the other joints or all the other tissue systems that are supporting it, and they have to be overused, they start to have the complaint. So a lot of times we're looking for the hidden story behind all those projects there.
Yeah, cool. Let's read.
It's amazing how sore this is too, and I didn't even, realize it. I wasn't paying attention to my body.
Yeah, well, when we get busy, that's part of the globality of what is true in chiropractic and osteopathic medicine, where we have a capacity of putting things out of our mind or out of our awareness, and at a certain point they overwhelm us, and then we start to feel totally bad. So we can make our mind shut off that pain until somebody actually touches it and gets irritated there.
We're good at avoiding pain for sure. Let's see. Tell me when you're ready, and we'll do another recheck.
Yep.
Can you do a recheck?
And if we look at one more piece to touch in there, Ralph, is that it's under the lung. And when we look at body symbolism for tissues, the lung's about guilt and grief and sorrow. So if you clean up a little bit of that at the same time, or give her some support in those fields, I think that feels like it will go a longer way than everything else.
Yeah. So that's done. So let's
Can
see
I
what
come
happens.
back in 3 minutes?
Well, let's just test it real quick.
I think we can try, but I think it's.
Let's check it. We'll check it, and then you can come back in 3 minutes too.
I will.
Okay, here goes, ready? Okay, so I'm gonna go and go.
That feels so much looser. Like that was a lot easier.
How does it look to you, Tom?
And Jen, because Ralph was doing his little magic, he opened up all those on the spiritual level at the same time. So you'll notice that your breathing capacity is also a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Check your shoulder. Whatever you did in the beginning, check your shoulder.
Let's turn this way and.
Oh my gosh, I just don't feel. I know my shoulders are always not a huge range of motion, but
that's a good
this
testing.
is that was so much easier than it was a few minutes ago. It's just more.
Good.
Thank you.
Nice teamwork, Ralph.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
No, that's
So
awesome.
you need something to do for 3 minutes?
I need to get set up for a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, one thing that was amazingly cool was, I have skills. I can see stuff. I can feel stuff. But it's funny when it's your family. Like Tom even has people that aren't family work on him. The eyes are just. It's nice to have other eyes on it, And when Jen was pregnant with Baden, it was just so cool. I mean, we would meet every week, and I would have a whole treatment plan to work on Jen, and at the end, Jen's mom showed up, and so she would take care of Ben, hang out with Ben, and we had a great time. And we went to she started going to labor, and then she was it was kind of very low key, and so we went back and forth. We were in town. We were living out by the mountain. We were in town, close to the midwives, and we were popping in and out of my office and on the trails walking, and I'd work on her a little bit with what Tom said, and then we'd do other trails, and it was like a date. It was like a date, and then we went to the midwives. There was a little bit of like oomph when they gave her some herbs to get things started, which we were like, you didn't have to do that, but later we found out the midwife was going on vacation and wanted to leave. So Baden was born, and he was great, and a funny story, he cried for about 10 minutes, and Jen was like, she says, oh, look, he's telling us the story of what happened. And he was going on and on and on. And you could just see him like talking about, it was like this, and then it was like that, and then boom, and then he was done. And he just latched on. But it was the best ever. And so I learned a lot how cool it is to have a couple of eyes on, especially, you know, someone that Tom cares about us and loves us, but he's got a level of like, more neutral. So it's really cool. And he can see stuff at a distance, you know, so can I. And with all the integrated manual therapists around the world, you can talk to him. He's got it on his directory, imtwellnesscenter.com. And there's probably somebody in your area that he could talk with. And you know, some consult with Tom over the internet, over the phone, talk to your therapist and get stuff done like that. And then there's also ways to play energetically. So hopefully we'll get Jen back in a little bit and see where she's at in a minute. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Tom, or do you see anything else in Jen? And I'm going to put it, it's already done, whether you want to add any more to the treatment plan. But yeah, anything, what's on your, what do you think? What do you think?
I feel that we played on many different layers of healing today, right? And it's always hard when somebody's close to you because we have many layers of relationship there. And when you have somebody look from the outside, it's a little easier to be an observer of those processes, a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
And so I always enjoy working in a team, and I have Nancy with me here, and we've been working together for 25 years, and it'll be, if I feel blocked, I'll have her come in, or we'll be in the same room at the same time working on different clients, and I'll pick up something new, or she'll pick up something new, and just, so I've always liked working in a team approach of having other people address those facets.
And you know, when your practitioner is happy, things go better. so let me, I want to check with Jen again. Oh, well, so my secret, one of my secrets, a couple of secrets. One is, Tom will love this, the second one. The first one was when I first learned matrix energetics, I had just taken an autoimmune class from Tom and Sharon back in summer school. And then the next weekend was matrix energetics for the first time. And then Kim Burnham was staying with us for 2 weeks, and she was working in my clinic. And my client was late, my new client. So I was over there by Kim's table because we had 4 tables in the room. And Kim said, well, you can always go in the room and set it up so it's already done. And I'm like, oh yeah, they showed us how to do that. So I did. And just, you can go on my testimonial page and look for Wanda's testimonial. Bottom line, it was like a 1-second treatment. And I spent the rest of the hour following her around while she was writhing around on the floor. New client, had never met me, thought she was coming to physical therapy. Actually, she had met me before, I didn't remember it. And such a shift. And so what I do now, what I did for us is I set the space up so it was already done. So by the time Tom and I showed up, it could play itself out. And then the other thing I did was, you know, Sharon's been passed away now for, I think, 5 years.
Yep.
So Sharon loved to sit over there by someone's liver and just pop her feet up on a little stool and just work and watch all the other 20 plus 30 therapists working. And so I was like, I wonder what Sharon would see today. And I just put that out there for us all to have Sharon and Tom working together as a team, because that's like an awesome team. So So let's just check again. Let's check again one more time. See where we're at.
Now that I have my right set up.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. So Ben's gonna move forward. A little better.
Yeah, well, and I feel less pressure in my toes, so even though I might not be going farther down, I'm compensating less.
Yeah, I don't feel her rising up on her tiptoes as much. A little bit.
Yep, you look good there for that mobility that we got.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
incredible.
Let me do this. I want to do this. I don't even know what this is yet because Tom hasn't shown me yet. But I'm going to go and grab the mobility, the biomechanics of the helix stuff. He told me it was 3 fingers. So go 1, 2, 3 finger tequila. Let go of that. Okay, so here we go. So we'll go. Yeah, maybe not the different, but
So Ralph, if you just touch her on her ureter right above her left iliac crest, and then do that same thing, it's the ureter hooked up. It's not actually the bone joint.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we'll do all the IMT for the ureter, and right there.
Yeah, that's the perfect area right there.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead, go ahead. Let me see. DOM, all DOM templates, blueprints, ureter stuff.
Okay.
Ah, that I did
Yeah,
jump on my
it's
toe.
getting better. It's getting
Yeah,
better.
so let's just do one more. Ralph, you support her, and put your hip against her sacrum and there. And Jen, you're going to stand as tall as possible, lift up from your ears, like you're pulling up towards the ceiling. Now tuck your chin and start to roll down every single part of your neck. Now bend over your breastbone. Now start to suck in your diaphragm of your lungs. Now pull your bladder back up, and Ralph, have her anterior rotate her hips a little bit. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Keep going. You can go a little bit further.
It's cool. She just has to also learn how to do this movement.
Yeah, she had the mobility, but her muscles didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, and so now come up, and then let's do this. So let's
Oh, that is cool.
so do that one more time.
So start very tall and then roll yourself from your chin. Now you're coming down, you're gonna bend your sternum backwards, pull in your diaphragm now, suck in the diaphragm, now pull in your bladder. Right about there, now let your hips roll forward. Yeah, just let them roll forward and there you go. That's it.
Okay, come back.
Wow, that is amazing.
Now put your elbows like this, and then just resist me. Okay, let's let that go. And then go ahead.
Go ahead and say something, Ralph, because you're not on camera at the moment.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Keep going, Jen.
Put your arms drop.
Wow.
And now without thinking about it, just go ahead.
It definitely helps to
Helps to engage it, huh?
Yeah, it helps to pay attention like you would in Feldenkrais or
Try
something.
your arms.
They're so much more fluid.
And then your arm will just see how you feel.
Okay.
Working on it.
I feel taller, but I almost feel like, yeah, I'm just noticing this area more, probably because, we focused on it a bit this morning. So and I did new movements with it, which was
just as you want to reflect, Jen, on just because when we hold our lungs, we hold back grief and sorrow and guilt. So as we've opened that up, maybe those stories of your life will start to come up, and just instead of holding your breath and not realizing them, just if you let yourself see them, feel them, and understand them, then they'll never come back again.
Yeah, that's it. Just Baden gets to say his story and then it's done. Tom, this was super fun, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so really reach out for Tom. Info is his email, info@imtwellnesscenter.com. The website is wellnesscenter.com. IMTwellnesscenter.com. And he's got weekly Zoom sessions for practitioners and other people, anybody that wants to join. And then we're on once a week on Wednesdays right now, which is, I just hope it just keeps continuing because it's super cool. And yeah, if you want more, let us know.
Okay. Be safe this week and enjoy. And we'll chat next week.
So good to see you, Tom.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
man.
Tom.
All right. Bye, man.